Welcome to the Prep Pigskin Report podcast, hosted by Papa Pig himself, Paul Rudy.
Welcome to PPR Podcast number 32. My name is Paul. Everybody knows Burt Grossman. Burt, would you like to introduce the man in the middle?
I would. Billy Dunkle, Eastlake High School, San Diego State.
Soon to be NFL.
Yes, All-American.
Yeah.
San Diego State All-American. Hey, Billy, are you the first? I know Kyle Turley was, but is it just you two that are been offensive linemen All-Americans, or has there been others?
I think there's for sure been a couple in the past with the old Aztec teams that have been All-American. So I know the list is a little bit more than us.
Well, unlike my co-host, Billy, I just want to start out by welcoming you to the KUSI airwaves. Thank you for you're a PPR star, and thank you for giving back to the show. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, of course. Growing up watching you guys all the time, it's a great honor to be on here.
Well, not as much as an honor for us to talk to you. I want to start with that combine experience because I'm told they tried to humanize it. I know you only get one combine experience, but was there a combine when you played?
Yes.
Did you have to go through it, or did you even go?
I did have to go through it. That's a question I want to ask Billy, because I remember when I went to the combine, Tony Mandridge. You remember Tony Mandridge?
Sure.
Greatest, supposedly the greatest prospect ever. And I remember passing him in the hallway and being like, I don't want to play football. I mean, just saying that. Yeah. And then I see that defensive tackle from Georgia who's just like huge and runs. Do you see guys like that and you're like, maybe I should play baseball instead? This doesn't seem something I want to do.
No, definitely. You see those guys, it's kind of lights a fire underneath you because, they may be a little more genetically gifted than you, but I feel like you got to have more heart.
Well, let's not disqualify your athletic ability. I mean, you pegged the meter a little bit. I mean, you certainly did well. Do you have like an agent that's in your ear or an advisor that's somebody that's saying, okay, you're a blank and blank rounder, or you're going to be a third rounder? Who's advising you through all this?
Yeah, well, for me, I kind of told my agents and stuff that I don't really want to focus on stuff like that. I wanted to focus on getting ready for the combine and go down throughout my process, having a clear head and stuff like that. So to me, it really just never was a really big deal what round I'm going to or nothing like that. It was just more keep my head focused and ready for like whatever the next step was.
Billy, I remember you, because I was at Eastlake Panthers when Billy came up, and I used to give Billy gloves and stuff when he was younger. And then between 7th grade and 8th grade, I remember walking up to you the first game, 8th grade. I didn't know who you were because you had grown like 6 inches and gained like 50 pounds. What was up with that growth spurt that one year? I literally didn't know who you were for like a whole hour. I think Joe Hines told me who you were.
Yeah. I definitely remember you tossing out some cleats and gloves to me when I was little, and I always appreciated that, Burt. But I think I was an 8th grader, and I was like 5'10", 280 pounds, and in my freshman year I went from like 5'10" to 6'3", and I was like 320 pounds. It just kind of blew up out of nowhere. I don't really know what really caused it, but I'm glad it happened.
Well, the only reason you got all this stuff is because you were the only 8th grader that actually fit into NFL-sized stuff, just so you know. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Hey, so how are you going to handle draft day? Are you a first-day guy, a second-day guy? How's that going to play out?
For sure, probably going to be second, third day guy, but I'm just going to do something small with my family, really just something with the people around me, something small. But it's definitely going to be like a good day.
So I guess people don't realize this year in the draft, I mean, during that time in the South Bay, I mean, you came up with Chris Olave, who was at Eastlake at the time. Devin Lloyd was at Otay Ranch. CJ Verdell was at Mater Dei. I mean, I don't remember like that big of draft class or All-Americans coming out of one little area ever.
I mean, and those guys are first-day guys. I mean, South Bay is well represented in this year's NFL draft, will it not, Billy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of us, all those guys, we grew up in San Diego playing football with each other. And it's crazy to see how many guys are coming out this draft and like all from that same area, because like Devin Lloyd, he went to the same elementary as me. CJ Verdell, I played with him since I was 5 years old. I played with Chris a very long time. The list goes on basically, but yeah, it's definitely shows like what kind of talent we have down there in the South Bay.
So that brings that. I mean, this is old, but I remember, when you were going probably junior year in Eastlake, there was the big exodus of kids that all left. Chris had left. A lot of kids went to Modern Day. Did you ever think of leaving, or what made you stay? I remember you being the only big player that stayed that time.
Yeah. There was like 15, 20 dudes that left Modern Day.
Why?
It was just a bunch of stuff with like our coaches and stuff. Like people really weren't really getting along, so everybody just decided to go their different ways and stuff. Did what's best for them. But I never really had a second thought or a thought about leaving. It was always like, all right, I'm at Eastlake. I'm finishing my time at Eastlake. I'm not going to be one of those people who like to transfer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I remember. So
I think that speaks something about you, Billy. I mean, I like a kid that's going to grind through it. I mean, I think that's one of the big knocks against the transfer portal or transferring at the high school level is the first sign of adversity. Kids look for greener pastures, and life's about overcoming obstacles, is it not?
Yeah, yes, sir, for sure. Staying with the team at Eastlake, it was a great experience. We definitely had our ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade it for anybody else. So I'll go to war with those guys any day.
So do you get a lot? I mean, I know you're going through the combine. You were down in Texas for 7 weeks, which we couldn't get you here because you're doing your star treatment. The one thing I noticed about you, I'm curious if you ever hear it. In high school, I don't want to say you were mean, but you're so aggressive, almost like you want to kill somebody coming off the ball. And I think you did that a lot at San Diego State. I mean, have you been told a little bit to back off the aggression because you're going to, the second moves or counter moves are going to kill you at the next level?
For sure. I feel like sometimes I just get a little too aggressive, like you said, Burt. And I really do need to just control myself. So I've been actually taking yoga the past 8-9 weeks, and I feel like yoga has really, really helped me out a lot.
I want to see you in yoga attire going through a downward dog pose. That would be a hoot.
I think that's a Dunkle thing because, Freddie Dunkle's his uncle at Montgomery.
Sure.
And I remember Freddie at Castle Park, and Freddie would just, kill you all the time. It's like, what? It's just it's a Dunkle thing. I guess you guys just want to kill people. Yeah. But, yeah, it's crazy aggression. But, great if it's controlled. But, man.
But can I get back to the combine, because that fascinates me.
What year did you go to the combine?
Guys, I don't pretend to be in your guys' league. I'm just a pretty face. But Billy, Billy, talk a little bit about that whole experience. Do you get to watch other guys work out, or are you just in that one little group and that's all you know about, or did you get to see Chris Olave run his 40? How does that all play out?
Yeah. The first 3 days was all medical. It was all interviews, examinations, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of waiting around, a lot of shuffling and stuff like that. So, I feel like on the last day when we competed, we already had done so much stuff, and it kind of played a little bit on your mental, and you weren't getting enough sleep. So you really had to come prepared that day with the best you got. So, we did get to see everybody else in the groups and stuff like that. I got to saw CJ and Chris. Also, I got to saw Lloyd. But, the overall draft experience, it was a lot. But, it was just an amazing experience because of all the people you get to meet. You get to see all the competition who are in the same shoes as you. They put on the pants the same as you. So, there's nothing different. It's just you and them. So I think that was the best part about going to the combine, was really seeing, all the kids from the other schools and how they were learning and how they reacted to stuff and how they were training. So it was a good chance to compare yourself to them.
You didn't have to do the Wonderlic test this year, right? They dropped that.
Yeah, they dropped that.
How'd you do on the Wonderlic?
I did very well.
What? No, really?
I was the second highest my year.
So it was a bad year, huh?
Well, it was the highest. Courtney Hall, remember, the center for the Chargers, was the highest. I was the second highest. It wasn't off year. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a little off that year. What is it? So I got to ask this question because you're with Cameron Thomas, who's another high, rated defense lineman. You're a high-rated offensive lineman. Do you guys go together against one-on-ones a lot in practice, or have you over the last year or two? And who gets the better of it? Who gets the better of it?
I feel like it goes both ways, to be honest. Cam is a dog. His motor never stops. So you really have to be on your A game to stop Cam. But Cam comes with his first best move, then he throws the second move, then his third move. So Cam he never stops his feet, never stopped his hands. He's just, like I said, a high motor guy. I figured that out when we played him against Carlsbad. I think my senior year, we went to the CIF playoffs. But yeah, we've been against each other a ton the last 3-4 years. And I feel like it just iron sharpens iron. So I'm glad I had the chance to go against him all these years.
I know he got a hamstring injury at the Senior Bowl. Was he able to run at the combine and do stuff, or was that still bothering him?
Yeah. From what I heard from his brother, Zach Thomas, I'm pretty sure he had a hamstring injury, so he didn't do the 40, but I'm sure he did some of the drills.
You know, speaking of which, how important is a 40 time for Billy Dunkle? Or of all those drills, is the bench press really indicative of how strong you are? I mean, which of those drills, in your mind, Billy, actually indicate that your athletic ability? I would think more the agility stuff would be more.
I would think just straight film of the actual
so
playing.
So all the running of the cones really is relevant?
I mean, it really doesn't matter if you don't know what you're looking at when you get in the field. I mean, if you don't know the reads, or you don't know the front, or you don't know the coverage, or you don't know the schemes, or you don't know the blocking scheme. If you don't know any of that, I mean, again, you see it all the time. A corner can run a 4.3, but if he takes 2 false steps and is looking at the wrong spot, he's all of a sudden a 4.8 on the field. So you see a lot of that doesn't translate, and I think the NFL gets too caught up in it. I mean, I had good numbers, but it wasn't. I think that probably helped me, but again, I don't think it matters.
Billy, your take?
Yeah, same thing in my case. I feel like everybody kind of knew I wasn't a track star, so that wasn't where I was going to go and do my thing. I feel like the offensive line drills was the most important for me, was to get in front of those coaches and to show them I can move and that I'm an athlete and stuff. That was my main goal going to the combine. But for sure, film. I feel like film for sure has to speak the loudest.
So this is a weird year, I'd say. I don't remember like seniors coming out. You have the USFL and the XFL coming now. Do they court you and try to get you to get out of the NFL draft and come to USFL? How's that work?
No clue. I haven't been hit up by any of those teams yet. So
that doesn't interest you at the moment, I'm betting, right?
Oh, I know that interests him. I'm just wondering if they come out and they try to recruit you guys to go into their draft, because you still have to declare for either draft, correct?
I don't know how that plays out.
I don't know either.
To me, there's only, with no disrespect to the other leagues, I only care about the NFL, and I only care about our guys. So,
true.
You know, when they don't make the NFL, then we'll start caring about the other leagues.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because I saw they had their draft last week, and I was wondering who declares for that, who doesn't, or how that even works. I mean, it's crazy, because you remember the old USFL where it was just insane, and they just threw more money out there, but they're not doing that now. I'm
sure it'll get that way. But right now, Billy, if you could have one football team call you on day 1, 2, 3, I don't care, whatever day it is, even if it's signing on as undrafted free agent, what team where do you see your abilities fitting in? With what NFL team?
I definitely see my abilities fitting in with the team likes to run the ball a lot. I feel like that's my forte. That's the best part of my game is just getting off the ball and getting into somebody. But I don't really have a specific favorite team that I want to play for.
Vikings.
I guess you could say maybe Seattle, because Rashad Penny there, and I want to block for Rashad.
You didn't grow up a Raider fan or a Charger fan?
I grew up a diehard Chargers fan. My offensive line coach is Mike Goff, so I got to see him play all throughout the early 2000s, and I gave him shit about it already. I told him, like, when you guys left, we burnt our jerseys. Like, we're wearing Charger fans no more. Y'all went to L.A.
Well, fortunately, Mike's not like the other Chargers that sold out, like Daniel Tomlinson, Sean Merriman, and those people that are ambassadors now.
If they came and paid you enough, you would.
No, I would not.
Yes, you
would.
I would not. Yes. Oh, please.
All the money I make here. Crazy.
But if they said, okay, we're going to sign you to become a team ambassador, you do it in a heartbeat. So please.
I'd be the mascot. What are you talking about?
I know you clean up after the cheerleaders. Bill. Where were we going with this, Billy? Because I wanted to talk about the Vikings, because they need line help and they're a run-first team. That's where you're going to end up. Minnesota. Did you talk to anybody from the Vikings organization?
Yeah, I had an informal interview with the Vikings.
Well, can you elaborate? Did it seem like it was going to go someplace?
Yeah. It was basically like a 15, 20-minute interview, and they want to basically get to know you and see if you know football. So, like, they ask you how what's so good about you, what's different about you, and then it's straight to the plate, like straight to the whiteboard. So we're drawing plays, we're trying to get feedback back, and
awesome.
I feel like it was a great time with them. So definitely seeing the Vikings as a hopeful home.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm a Vikings fan, Billy, and see, then I have an in for tickets.
Wow.
Yeah, got you.
Because I don't think I won't call.
And are you prepared? I mean, you have to be a little prepared. I guess you don't think about it. You grew up in San Diego, the greatest city. I mean, you went to college in San Diego. What happens? Are you prepared to end up in Detroit or Minnesota or Cleveland?
Hey, don't lump Minnesota in with Detroit.
It's worse probably. But I mean, just culturally, weather. I mean, it's depressing. It's the kind of thing that'll ruin your career. I'm telling you right now. Look at Kirk Cousins. He was a good player until he got to Minnesota.
Please.
I'm just telling you. Be prepared for that. If you end up in like Detroit, be prepared that you grew up, born and raised in San Diego, and now you're going to Detroit.
Does that? Yeah. I mean, to be away from home, does that faze you in the slightest?
No, definitely not. I feel like the last 8-9 weeks I was away from home. Yeah, of course I missed everybody from home, but like I had a job to do, so I was kind of motivated and stuff like that. And in Texas, it was getting pretty cold. It actually snowed 3-4 days while I was over there. It was getting to the teens, so like I didn't expect that from Texas. So I got a little taste of it, but I think I'll be fine somewhere cold. It don't really bother me too much.
Billy, get on Netflix
God,
tonight.
2/3 of the stadiums are indoors now, so like
you still have to live there. Get on Netflix and watch 8 Mile with Eminem, and you'll see what I'm talking about. If you want to go to Detroit, you'll see right away. I'm staying here.
Please. Hey, I want to go back to it. So they pull out a whiteboard. Even for a lineman, you have to go up and do like the quarterbacks do on ESPN and show how you recognize formations and whatnot. Really?
Yeah, you got to go over everybody, the wide receivers, tight ends, quarterback, running back, what are their footsteps, their hand placement, their leverage. It's definitely difficult, but training at the sports academy the last eight weeks and all of the preparation I got at San Diego State definitely helped because I feel like I was prepared.
And that's something people don't realize. I mean, offensive line is the only position that you have to operate in a group. Everybody else is an individual pretty much. But if anybody in that group breaks down, the group's off. I mean, you see the Joe Moore Offensive Line Award. You don't see that for any other group position because they all are just one unit.
Not to blow wind up your skirt, Billy, but it's been my experience in doing this now for almost 40 years. The smartest guys on the team are usually offensive linemen.
Or DNs.
No, they're usually offensive linemen for that very reason. Quarterbacks are too difficult to talk to because they're divas, but linemen are the most real guys, and they actually understand everything that's going on in the field. So, Billy, before we call this a conversation, and we are very grateful for the time you're giving us, let's talk a little bit about San Diego State and the fact that so many guys now, remember, all the Power 5 talk. You got to go to a Power 5 school for the NFL guys to find you. You're living proof, along with all your cohorts that are coming off the Mesa, that San Diego State is very visible to NFL people, is it not?
Yeah, for sure. Talking to all the people up there at the NFL Combine and stuff like that, every time they read San Diego State, they know it comes with like a blue-collar chip with every single one of their guys. The way we're trained there is different. Coach Hall, the way he runs the program, and Coach Hoke, and all the other strength coaches and staff coaches, they're all 100% invested. So when you get a kid who comes from San Diego, it basically feels like family. Like there's nothing more you could want. So if all these kids keep this pipeline going and everybody keeps going to San Diego who's from San Diego, I feel like that noise won't be anything anymore because it's really not. You can go to the NFL anywhere.
When you get your contract and you get the San Diego State season tickets for the new stadium, you'll be out of town probably in Detroit. Would you give me them or not? Or would you let me have them just for a year or two?
Yeah, bro, I got you for those cleats you used to give me.
I appreciate that.
So you're getting the Aztec tickets. I'm getting the Vikings tickets. And so then, Billy, I hope you understand that when the smoke clears and you have a few moments, we're going to be calling you up again to hopefully do this from your new NFL home and talk about that transition. Would you be game to do that one more time?
Yes, sir. Of course. Can't wait to be back on here when all that happens. That's going to be a time.
All right. We're going to post this starting tomorrow, and we'll make sure to tag you everywhere. So, hey, thank you. You know, it means a lot that you would sit down with us for 20 minutes. You got anything else you want to ask the man?
No, thank you, Billy. I appreciate it.
Billy, thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay strong, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Because Kevin O'Connell's going to draft you. I just know it in my bones.
Hopefully. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, Billy Dunkle, thank you much.